Good afternoon, everyone. The topic for our session today is AI for teaching learning material development. So let's look at the objectives that we have for the lesson today. So at the end of this session, we'll be able to develop educational content with the help of slides, summaries, teaching notes. We can be generating visual teaching aids, generate some realistic clinical cases, use AI for simulation and scenario development, and see if we can create some case-based discussions. So, what are the AI tools that are required for teaching and learning? That will depend upon our teaching needs. Now, as health professional educators, we have different teaching needs, which starts from lesson planning, learning objectives, generating learning objectives, case-based learning, scenario development, text development, creating PowerPoint presentations. Now, there are so many of these of our teaching needs, and there are various AI tools that are available to fulfill these teaching needs. How does it help us? It especially helps us by saving time in planning. It gives us structured, relevant content, and it also helps us in so many other different ways. So basically, we are in the middle of a massive shift in how learning gets designed, built, and experienced. And most of us are trying to keep up by experimenting and making it up as we go. I am designing my lessons and lecture plans completely different than what I was doing a few months ago, you know. And if you see, we have a wide range of AI tools that can help us create these lesson plans and improve upon our designs and make us more efficient and creative. But before we go into all this, I just want us to understand exactly does AI do? Does it know everything? Does it know about the lessons that we are planning? Does it know how to go about it? What is the content in it? You know, no, it does not. AI actually does not. It is basically an algorithm that's great at pattern spotting and predicting. They are fundamentally a game of fill in the blanks. Now imagine I say to you, twinkle, twinkle, little dash. You immediately thought of star. Why? Because you have heard that pattern 1,000 times and you were able to predict the next word. Your AI software, your LLM does exactly this, but it has read massive data sets, it has read books, it has read articles, repositories, and much more. So that is how your AI, in very simple terms, it does the work or the task that you give it to. So now you create a task for AI and you confidently give it your task, expecting a genuine answer. However, as many of you pointed out during your first assessment, during your assignment, where you said that you used AI, but the AI did not give you the correct answers in spite of you giving them correct promptings. Let us take an analogy, So you have something called prompt engineering. It's a very high word, high term. It is a very high scientific word, like, you use it to, it sounds very high. But if you ask me, it is just a fancy term for clear communication. Let me give you an example. Think of AI or your large language model like your ChatGPT or Gemini as a brilliant intern or a resident who has memorized every medical textbook that is there. But he doesn't know how to run your classroom or what your current students are currently learning. So what you do is you call this intern and you tell the intern, give me 5 multiple choice questions about inflammation that I have taught to the students. Now, the intern is definitely trying to impress you. So he gives you 5 highly advanced, overly complex questions about cellular signaling pathways. He understands, but your students don't understand. Technically, they are accurate. but they are far too difficult for your students, and you have not even covered that material in your lesson. Instead of that, if you tell the student, if you tell the intern or the resident that you give me 5 multiple choice questions about inflammation, but remember that they are for second year undergraduate students, they have just finished their lecture on acute versus chronic inflammation. Do not include any molecular pathways or biochemistry. Focus only on the classic science and give 4 options per questions and bold the red answer. So what does the intern give you? The intern will deliver exactly what you have asked him to deliver. What is our takeaway in this? You did not need to know how to speak in very um, far advanced language. You just had to tell the intern exactly who the quiz is for, what to focus on, and how to format it. That is called clear communication. So that is prompting, right? You don't need very uh, high terminologies here. You just need to speak human. Okay. Now, in spite giving all these good promptings, asking everything specifically, your AI software might hallucinate. For example, if you ask AI who was the first person to walk on Mars in 1969, now the AI might give you an answer like Neil Armstrong, but why did he tell you Neil Armstrong? If you read the question correctly, the question is who was the first person to walk on Mars in 1969? AI will tell you Neil Armstrong because Neil Armstrong and Walked On in 1969 will appear together in its training data millions of times. This pattern is very strong. The fact that it was the moon and not the Mars is a detail that it would miss because it prioritized the flow of the sentence over the fact. If you understood, it is not looking at whether this is correct or not, but it matches with the training that it got through all the massive data, that it connects one sentence to another sentence, one pattern of sentence to another pattern of sentence, and matches it and says that, okay, this is the correct answer. Let's take another example. You have an intern who is in the ER or a junior resident, and there's a patient who walks in with chest pain and says that I am not able to breathe. The intern looks at the patient and before he does any kind of examination or anything, he's already decided in his mind, oh, this looks like a heart attack case. I studied about this last week, you know, and he comes to the conclusion that my diagnosis is acute myocardial infarction. Now, when the professor walks in, he will obviously be checking the tests, the radiographs, the basic uh, parameters, clinical parameters, and everything that would have been done on the patient. And then the professor says the ECG is normal, CT shows a pulmonary embolism. So, what did the intern do? He jumped to a conclusion. He did not verify it with evidence, did not correlate it with the different examinations and the tests that is supposed to be done. That is exactly why your AI will hallucinate, even though AI softwares have become much better now, and they do not hallucinate as much as they used to do in the previous months. They have become much better, but still, you need to verify every single text, every single data that the AI gives you. This is very important. This is called human in the loop or human in the lead. Okay. So, what do we do if AI is going to hallucinate and we have to check everything? What do we do now? Now, there is something in AI software called retrieval augmented generation. This is also called RAG. So, what is RAG? RAG means that finding or retrieving information and then using it to augment the query that triggers the generation. I will repeat it once again. Retrieval augmented generation is what AI does is it retrieves the information from the source that you have loaded in its software, and then it augments, it builds up the answer to the question that you have asked, and then it generates the answer. So basically, the information that you are getting from the AI software is information that you have given to the AI. It is not doing any guesswork. I will give you an example to understand this. Okay, think of it like a exam. Now, a standard large language model or an AI software like your ChatGPT, Gemini, it is like a student who's giving a closed book exam. How do they give it? They have to rely on their memory. And if they forget, they might just have to guess the answer. There is no other way out. They don't have anything else to do. So that is how a standard LLM will work. But what happens in retrieval augmented generation is that you let the student to take an open book exam. So what happens is all the information is there in the student's hands. You give the question. When you ask a question, instead of forcing the AI to guess from its memory, you can give all the information to the AI and then ask it to use that information to answer that question. That is called RAG. Now, how does this help us? It helps us because it helps to ground the AI in facts. We know that the AI has generated the answers from the information that we have given to the AI. Okay. Now we will be dealing with a few of these AI softwares: ChatGPT, Gemini, Notebook LM, Claude, Copilot, Perplexity. All these AI softwares are there. So I will be giving a demo to you on these softwares. Before we go into it, I just want us to see and understand something about ADDIE. Now, the ADDIE model is something that we have been learning even in before the AI came into the picture. It is talks about how to create our lesson learning management system through analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. Okay. Now, all of you would have, I'm not sure how many of you would have heard about Duolingo. Duolingo is the world's most popular digital language learning platform. It has a game-like approach with short, bite-sized lessons to help users practice vocabulary, grammar, and speaking in over 40 different languages. There are other courses also there in Duolingo, like maths, music, chess, so many other things are there. Now, if you look at the Duolingo app, it basically represents the future of learning. They incentivize, they motivate the learners, and they keep their instruction very simple and active. They even have a green owl. You see that owl here on the left side? This owl is very active. If you miss any lessons, it gets very angry and it keeps reminding you, go back and do the lesson. You have missed your lesson for today. Talk about nudging your learners. It is something that we really need to do. So why am I talking about ADDIE? About ADDIE? Why? Because it uses the ADDIE principle to create its lesson plans. First, it analyzes it. That means it tries to understand the learner and the needs of the learner. So once it finds out what level you stand, like for example, if I want to learn French, now French is something that I have learned previously also in a few years back. Now I will not call myself as a complete beginner. So suppose I'm not at A1, probably I'm at B1. So I can put I can tell the app that I know a little bit of French, I know the words, I can speak, but I want to learn from vocabulary onwards, how to speak on. So suppose I say I'm on B1, so what it will do is it will design the lesson for me from B1. How does it do it? It creates bite-sized lessons and it helps me to keep learning every day. And it develops the content, it builds in audio lessons, there are exercises, animations, algorithms, and it helps me to keep learning, you know. And I can do this lesson at any time I want, anytime, anywhere I want. So it also implements the experience and then keeps it keeps evaluating, that is measuring how well I'm doing, how many mistakes I'm making. And every time I make a mistake, it doesn't condemn me or, you know, it doesn't tell me that, it doesn't punish me. It tells me, okay, come on, you can do it better, you can do it better. And it keeps giving me revisions and revisions till I become better in that part of the lesson that I am learning. So Duolingo uses it every day to help millions of learners around the world. Similarly, the ADDI model is very helpful for us in AI software, using AI software in our health professions education. So how do we do that? Analysis, we should know who are the learners and what do they need, and then input that into the AI, which will help us to create lesson plans according to the understanding of the learner. You know, the AI will design lesson plans according to that. It will develop the images, videos, simulation, presentation, whatever you want, according to the understanding of the learner. And it will implement it. It will help us to implement it, and it will also help in giving evaluation or assessment. So basically, AI enhances every phase of the ADDI model. It makes our teaching more effective, personalized, and also our learning outcomes are more meaningful. Okay, now let us go on to the demo part of it. And I would, uh, I will just go on to share my Google page. Okay, let's start with ChatGPT. And okay, I have my ChatGPT. I'm going to open my ChatGPT here. And at the same time, I'm also going to, if you want to go to ChatGPT and do hands-on with me, please go to chatgpt.com. I will open another page with Gemini. All right. So now what I did is I let me explain these both apps to you first. You have on the left side, you have the main Gemini icon. If you click on it, it will open the sidebar. So when you open the sidebar, you see chat and you see Spark. Now Spark is something that is newly being developed. I have not experimented with it much. Let's concentrate on chat. Under chat, you have new chat. So I am on the new chat page now. You also have search chats. That means you can search whatever chats you have already had, and then you have already created with Gemini. Then you have got images. You can create images with this. You can create videos, whatever video you want. You can make a library of your own repository, of your own data that you have created with chat. Now, if you see this here, there is something called notebooks. This notebook is Gemini is joined with the notebook app now. So whatever notebooks you create in your notebook app will be visible here also. And you can use these notebooks of yours to chat with Gemini and create a different set of data under that. And then you have an option called resend. That means all the different kinds of all the chats that you have had, all the material that you have created with Gemini will be present here. Okay, so let me go to ChatGPT also so that I can tell you how ChatGPT works. This is the main page of ChatGPT. And there are two options, ChatGPT Plus and ChatGPT. We will stick to ChatGPT so that it will be free for us. And here in the sidebar, you can click on that icon. You want to close the sidebar, you close it like this. And if you want to open it, just open it. Here also, the first option is new chat. You can create images with this, and you can have your own images, and you can have your own library of whatever work you have done. Now there is an option called plugins here. Plugins means you use another app and you plug it in to ChatGPT, and through the ChatGPT, you can work in these apps. So I have installed Gamma and Canvas. So there are other things that you can install if you as you wish. So then you have something called projects. If you create projects, it will be added here. This is for coding. And okay, so there is nothing coming here. All right. Now, if you look at this, these are the recent ones where you can create whatever data you have created with the help of ChatGPT will be appearing here. Now, if you see, if you want to pin it so that it is always there in front of you, you see these three dots here. To any of the material that you have created, you open that and you can actually since that is already pinned, no, that is not pinned. Okay, let me see. Um, not that one. Okay, so I have that over there, and I have pinned this lesson on MHPE AI learning so that it is in front of my eyes all the time. This option, yeah. So here it is. So if you want to pin any topic, so that it is there. You don't have to search for it. You can always pin the chat there. So it gets pinned over there and it is in front of your eyes. If you want, you can always remove it also. Okay. Yeah. So here you can also unpin the chat. Similarly, if I go to Gemini, I have my lesson here, which I have pinned here for today's class. Okay. So let me go to, I have labeled it as MHP AI learning. All right, let me go to the beginning of this. And I am here. And then I go on to ChatGPT. And here also I will go to MHP AI learning and I will open that. So I will open this. My lesson is open. And I go here. Okay. Now what I will do is I will just I will split this. So now I have my ChatGPT and Gemini both on the same screen. Okay. Now this is the prompt that I gave. As an expert health profession educator, I need to teach a lesson on the following topic. And I gave two topics and I gave actually this was the example prompt that I had put in the Canva for you to practice. So I put this and then I pressed enter. So, but what happened is both of them, if you look at it, ChatGPT and Gemini, both of them asked me, which topic do you want to teach and who are your target students? Now, I corrected it in the Word document and I put it here again that I want a topic on coronary artery disease and it is for my third year MBBS students. You don't need to do that. You can actually go there to your prompt, and there is an option called edit prompt. So when you press that, you can edit your prompt here itself inside the text box. Both ChatGPT and Gemini will give you the option of edit prompt. Okay, so once that is done, so I'm going to cancel this here now because I have already prepared the lesson. So once that is done, it has given me an entire basic understanding of the lesson that I want to teach third year MBBS students. So it talked about core pathophysiology. Here also ChatGPT has given me a content baseline under these four topics that I asked. So core pathophysiology, and it gave me clinical presentation, it gave me the management, and it also gave me the false and misconceptions. So here also it has given, if you look at it, you see this. So it has a very different way of presenting and both are good. Actually, ChatGPT has become really good. Initially, I still like Gemini. It has a different way of presenting things, like it gave a flow chart or a mind map kind of thing here. And it has given a table. It has given the immediate management and everything what I have asked for is here. So this one has also done the same thing. It has given me a time schedule for the class. Okay. So here, you see how ChatGPT has given me a summary of the time schedule, and given me a summary of my question itself. So what I did now is, it has, what I did is that I asked it to create a 45-minute lesson plan for me using a markdown table. And I gave it 3 columns: time allocated, slide title, the visuals, the bullet points, and the lecturer script. What I should be talking about when I take the class. Here also in ChatGPT, I gave the same question. Here is the question. So I gave that same question and it created a 45-minute lesson plan for me. Now, once I did this, now this is what I did with Gemini and okay. Now what I did is I'm going to stop this. Going to go it. That option there. Now I'm going to change it into 2 separate views and I have my Gemini over here. So what I did is, once it gave me the lecture plan, I asked it to create an infographic of the visual in slide 2. Now if you look at this, there are different visuals it has given me. So I went to slide 2 and I asked it to create a visual for me from slide 2 as an infographic. So this is what it generated. Now, if you look at this option here, there is a term here called branching. How did I do that? Without destroying my original conversation, which I was having with Gemini, if I click here, there is an option. It has not come here now. Okay. So, all right. Maybe let me just see. Okay. Now, if I go here, in this 3 dots over here, over the left side, I go to branch in new chat. That means I don't need to destroy the conversation that I'm having with Chat or Gemini, but I want to continue and experiment with something else. So I branch into a new chat. So if you branch into a new chat, you can go over to another, it will carry over from the same conversation and you continue over here. Now, once you have continued over here, you see this is a branch topic. So you can go back to your main learning topic from here. So I want to go back now. So I go back to my original lesson. Yeah, so I have come here. Okay. So once it has generated my infographic, I asked it to create a paper-based clinical case study that tests whether students have understood the lecture material. And I gave it that the case must include the patient presentation, the objective data, assessment question, and also give me a rubric for checking their answers. So it has created this clinical case study for me. I'll just open it for you. This has given me a case study, the patient presentation, the objective data, the lab diagnostic panel. It has given me a set of assessment questions that I can ask the students, and it has also given me an answer key and evaluation rubric. Now, okay, so this is the entire case study that it has created. Now, if you look at some options here on the top, I have options called create. From this data that it has given to me, I can create a web page, an infographic, a quiz, a flashcard, or an audio overview. I can create any of these things from this data. So what I did is I asked it to create uh, okay. So here I asked it to create a quiz for me. I just had to click on that and it created a quiz for me. And if I open this, I have this quiz here. So it gave me a set of 10 questions, which I can use for quizzing my students. So I can go to the next question, I can give answers, and if I don't know the answer, I also have an option for hint here. So it will give me the answer. It will help me to decide what is the correct answer. Now, if I close this and I go down, I also asked it to create a set of flashcards for me. So this is the flashcard that it created for me. So that is the answer to that question. Now, suppose I go to that question, then it will give me another answer. So it created a set of 25 flashcards. Now, where did I get all these things from? I got it from the case study. So this is the case study. This is the option called create. I created a quiz. If I press this, I don't want to press it now because it will take time. All right. So what we saw till now was we saw how to use ChatGPT and Gemini for creating our lesson topic and lecture. So what I did in ChatGPT was that I gave this prompt, and this prompt created the basic understanding of my lesson. And then I asked it to create a 45-minute lesson plan and give it to me as a table with a time and visual elements, key bullet points, and the lecturer script. So ChatGPT gave me that. And once it gave me that, I asked it to create images for each visual that was mentioned in the slide. If you notice that when it gave me the schedule, it gave me a visual for each slide that I can show to the students while I am teaching them. But these visuals are not visible here. It is only in a text format. So what I asked ChatGPT is, can you give me images for each visual mentioned in each slide? So it gave me this visual for each slide. Now it has given it to me in just one uh, in all 9 slides are there in one screen. So if you don't want it like that, you can ask it to create different slides for different visuals for different slides. So it will do that also, and then you can download it and you can use it for your presentation. Now if you notice that this is a conversation that I am having with ChatGPT. Every time I give it a prompt, I do not have to introduce myself. I do not have to tell it that I am a associate professor. Give me, this is my topic. These are my students. Give me this. Create a lesson plan, create a lecture. I don't have to continue to give the same introduction again and again in my prompt. You can continue the conversation as if you're having a conversation with your colleague in your department. So it will keep talking to you and it will keep generating the answers to every question or the request that you give to ChatGPT. So continuing on that, what I did was that I asked it to create a presentation. Now I wanted a presentation. Now if you come to this plus icon here, it will give you different options. You can add photos and files, upload them. You can add from the library. You can create an image. You can go for web search. You can go into deep search. You can go into Canva and create anything you want. You can go to Gamma. So I wanted to create a presentation. So I asked it to go to Gamma. Gamma is a presentation app, AI software. So I went there and I asked it to create a presentation for each slide. So that is exactly what it did. It created a presentation for me. Now, if I want to open this, I go to the Gamma, open the Gamma presentation. I go there. I can either copy the link and paste it into uh, another web, screen, or I can open the link directly. Yeah. So it is taking a little time to open, but yes, it is opening. And here is my slide. It has given me nine slides, one for each slide that was there. It had given to me in the lecture text. So it is, each of these slides can be used and you can present it while you are teaching the students. Now, if you see here, it has given option, you can change the theme. You can also ask it to edit it. For example, if you do not feel that the font size is big enough, if you have a larger class size and you feel that the font size is very small, the students will not be able to see it, you can ask it to change the font here and it will do so. You can do whatever you want the AI to do for you. And you can also directly present it from this option that is given here. So it will go into the direct presentation mode. Okay. So now from ChatGPT, now I go on to Gemini. So in Gemini also we learned exactly the same thing. I'll open the sidebar here and we learned that we took the same topic and we asked it to give me a baseline for the lesson, and it created baseline for the lesson. And it also created a 45-minute lesson plan for me, similar, but it had its own different way of presenting, and it added some more data that ChatGPT had not given. And then I asked it, I branched it to 2 chats. So if you notice, I had given it to branch. If you notice, those branches will come here onto your, each branch that you make from a main conversation will appear on the left side of your page. So I asked it also to create an infographic of the visual in slide 2. This is the continuation of the conversation that I am having with Gemini here. So you continue this, and then I asked it to branch. I created another conversation uh, format, and I asked it to create a paper-based clinical case. So it created a clinical case study for me. And this is the clinical case study that was there. Now, once this case study has been generated, from this case study, there is an option to create something. So I can create an infographic, quiz, flashcard, audio overview. So since I already showed you an infographic, what I did is I asked it to create a quiz and a flashcard. So if you go to the left side, you will see that it has created a 10-question quiz designed to test the student's mastery of the clinical case. I can open that quiz here, and that quiz comes here. It has given me a set of 10 questions that I can use and ask the students. If you do not know the answer, you can go to the hint, and it will give you a hint to know what is the correct answer. And next, you can go on to the next question, next question. Now, after this quiz, I asked it to generate a set of flashcards. So it created a set of 25 flashcards for me. So the question is in the front and the answer is in the. So you can use these to teach the students, to quiz them, to ask them, prepare them for Viva questions. So these are very helpful as flashcards. Now, another option that is there is to create an audio overview. I will go back to my original study here. And here, if you go, there is an option called create an audio overview. So it created an audio overview. It takes some time to create. So I have already created it and I will show it to you. I'll open the sidebar here and I will go on to the option here, branch. This is the audio overview.
Imagine you're just, sitting on your couch reading a book. And out of nowhere, this immense crushing pressure hits your chest like an elephant just sat on you.
Right, yeah. No warning at all.
Exactly. No slow buildup. It's instant. And it's a classic 9 out of 10 pain shooting straight up into the jaw. And that is exactly what happened to a 58-year-old man named Arthur.
And for, I think 50 minutes, he's sweating, nauseous, just really struggling to breathe.
So this is how an audio overview was created. If you notice, it has also given a title on its own, Why Oxygen Can Worsen Heart Attacks. And they have spoken about it. So the student can listen to it and he can understand it and he can grasp the meaning of the topic that you have been teaching through the help of audio overview. Now there's another thing that was left out is I also asked it to create a video for me. So I asked it from the same topic. I asked it to create, imagine you are on ER rotation, 58-year-old diabetic man walks in. So I asked it to create what is happening inside his heart at this exact second. Create a video comparing a patient who has a stable, thick plaque and I told this is chronic syndrome, chronic coronary syndrome. But if that plaque ruptures, the thrombus creates acute unpredictable supply ischemia. This is acute coronary syndrome. Okay. So I wanted it to create a video based on this text.
Happening inside his heart. A stable plaque causes demand ischemia, but if that plaque ruptures, a thrombus creates acute supply ischemia. This is acute coronary syndrome.
So coming back to my lesson on the Gemini. So this is what all was created. You can always share it. The share option is there. You can always share it with your colleagues, with your Students, you can export it to documents, or you can copy the contents of this text that is over there. Here you have option to put it into the drive. You have option to change any of the font sizes that you don't like, italics, whatever you want to do, you can do that. And here, if you want to change the length of it, or if you want to okay, if you want to change the tone, if you feel that it is too formal, you want to change it into a casual mode, you can change the tone here. And you can suggest your edits over in this option. All right, so that was about ChatGPT and Gemini. Now let us go on to Notebook LM. Now this is Notebook LM. If you look at this page, this is how page looks like in Notebook LM when you create a new notebook. There is this symbol, the trademark of Notebook LM. If you click on it, it will go on to a page which will show you all the books that you have created. And it will tell you whether you want to look at it in a picture mode, in a picture mode, or you want to see it as a list. So you can keep whatever option you want. It will give you whether you want to see the according to title or according to the most recent ones that you have created. And all these different options are there. Okay, so let me go to create new. So we'll create a new notebook. We will start with what all is presented here on this window screen. Okay, so you have the title option here. So let me title this as endodontic diagnosis, and that is my title for this notebook. Now I can add sources. If you remember, I had taught you something about retrieval augmented generation. That is, you upload your sources, you give an open book exam to the AI software. So you upload all your sources here on the left side, and it will generate answers for your query in the middle and on the right side. So this entire screen is divided into three parts. The left side, you upload your sources. In the middle, it will give you the answer. And on the right side, it will generate the different kinds of learning methods that you want to use to teach your students. Okay, so let us see what all is here. Here you can add from the web directly. If you don't have the material for endodontic diagnosis, for example, then you can go into the web and you can search for it and it will appear here in this column. Or you can go into your drive and upload. Here you can do a fast search or you can do a deep search. Whatever you want, you can click on that. And this, let me see, I go on to add sources here. And either I do that or I can upload files directly from my computer, or I can upload websites, or I can copy a text, or I can upload it from Drive. Okay, so let me see if I can upload it from my file. So I go there and I go to my topic of clinical diagnosis. Now I have a PowerPoint presentation here and I have two PDFs. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to upload it into the source here. So if you see that it has come onto the left side and it is started. But I want to, suppose I want to add some more sources. I want to add a website. So I go to the website here and I can add any link that I want. So I've already opened it here. Suppose I want the American Association of Endodontics recommended diagnostic terminology. I wanted to use that. So I will go there and I will take that link and I will go back to my Gemini and I will paste it there and I press insert. So if you see on the left side, that website is also getting uploaded, and it has already got it uploaded on the left in the source column. Okay, now let's see if can we upload a YouTube video also. Yes, we can. So in the same website, I go to the YouTube video that I want to upload, and I select the link, and I go back to my Gemini, into my notebook, and I paste it there, and I press insert. So if you see, okay, that has not uploaded. So when it does not upload, it will appear as red, and it will say that it is unable to, due to source restriction. So maybe that web page did not allow it to upload. Doesn't matter. So if it does not upload, best thing to do is go back there to the same three dots, and you ask it to remove the source. So this will delete that source completely from there. You can use any other YouTube video that you want and upload it directly here. Now coming to the middle of this page. This has gone through all the sources that you have given, and it has given a summary of all 4 sources that you provided. Based on this summary, it has already given you prompts. If you see, how do clinicians use ICDS system? What factors determine? How do visual and radiographic examination differ in dental diagnosis? It has already given you prompts. You can use these prompts to continue the conversation, or you can ask your own question or ask it to create something by writing here. Okay, so this is what it does. Now, if you look onto the right side, there is a studio. Now, this studio has got different options which you can use to create your own lesson. It has got an option for audio, to create a slide deck or a PowerPoint presentation. It can create a video, it can create mind map, reports, quiz, data table, infographic, flashcards, whatever you want. So whatever you ask it to create, it will start coming in the bottom. Okay, now suppose you want to add add note here. So add note, you want to write some of your own ideas here, and you want to keep it to remember it. So suppose I will just copy paste this material here so that you are able to understand. I will just take this, and this is a note that I have written, and I want to use this note as a source also. So I take that and I ask it to convert it to source. So if it is on the left side, whatever notes I write on the right side will immediately come on the left side. Now this new note has been created, and I close the slide bar, and if you look here on the right side, there is a note for me here which I have created myself, and I can refer to it whenever I go on to this topic. Okay, now I want to show all of these things to you, but it will take some time to create it. So I have already created it, and I will show it to you. And I go on to my topic on dental caries. These are my sources that I had uploaded here. Now I will go to the right side, and I will show you how it has created a, let us see, this is a video that it has created. So let us see the video here. So that is how a video was created out of the source that I gave. You can use that, and then I will show you this audio overview. So that was about an audio overview. Now this is a mind map that I asked it to create based on my sources. So this is the mind map that it created. I will just expand the viewer here so that you can see it. Now from dental caries, it has given subheadings, and under each subheading, it has got subheadings. So you are able to see this, even the intricate details that are present in each of these topics. So this is how it has created a mind map. You can download this mind map and use it for your presentation. Now, this is an infographic that it has created on cariology and endodontics diagnostic path. So this is an infographic. Now, there are different themes on which you can create. So this is a clay theme. So this is, I asked it to create on a clay theme. So this is how it has created infographic on my topic. Coming to, this is the slide that it created for me. So each slide was created. I'll just expand the viewer so that you can see it. And it gave me a full set of slides that I can use to teach this lesson. Now, if you want, you don't need to have so much written material in here. When you go to these options, you see these arrows here. You can use these arrows to change whatever you want to change. Do you want to present a slide or you want a detailed deck? In my case, I asked it for a detailed deck because I wanted to see what it would put in my presentation. You can ask it to go for default, or you can go for a short, the length of the PPT can be short, and you can give it your own um, or whatever you want, whatever kind of PowerPoint presentation you want here. So you can ask it to generate that. And for mind map also, you have, the AI is built such that it will ask you what exactly and what kind of mind map do you want, what kind of slide deck do you want, what kind of flashcards do you want. So do you want the lesser numbers, do you want more numbers, do you want them to be hard, do you want them to be easy? You can create as and how you would like it. So that was about the slide deck. And then I asked it also to create flashcards for me. So what are the 4 primary factors? And it gave me 4 primary factors that causes caries. And so that way it has created flashcards. And I also asked it to create a quiz for me. So it has given me a set of 12 questions as a quiz with 4 options and a hint at the bottom, which I can use, which the student can use to answer the question. So these are the options that are available, and you can use it for creating your own teaching and learning material. Now, one last thing I would like to show you here is this summary that was created here. Now I can continue this conversation here. This is a summary of my sources that was put in the middle once I uploaded the sources. And then when I went through all the different methods that it had created for me to teach, I asked a question. Can you explain this answer to me, which is given in the flashcard? And it immediately took that and it explained the answer to me in a very detailed manner. Now, if you see this, there is something called save to note. So what I can do is I can click on this and it will save this as a note to my sources. All right. So Did you see that? It has come and it has saved my note over here onto the right side. Now let's go back. So we learned about Gemini, about ChatGPT, about Notebook LM. Most of the AI softwares that are available, they all work on a similar method. Please explore each of them. You will be able to learn how each one works. So I will, but there is one golden rule that we should not forget, and that is that never send unedited AI output to anyone. Always be the human in the loop. Humans are still needed to ensure that AI outputs align with their learning objectives. Always be the human in the loop. Rewrite that intro, check the facts, add your own voice. Your human distinctiveness and your experience is very important. You know, after all, why do you want AI to replace you yourself? Use the AI to generate the draft and not the final product. AI is a powerful partner, but we as humans need to steer the ship responsibly. Think of AI as your brilliant co-pilot, but never let it fly the plane solo. Okay, so these are the things that we needed in our teaching. And some of the tools, 3 tools we learned, please explore with the other tools that are also available. Okay, now most of the time the question is that what tool should I use? What tool? There are so many of them in the market. But my advice will be to keep it simple. With everything moving so fast, it's easy to think that you are getting left behind. If you try everything, you will excel in none of them. You only need 3 tools in your stack. First, have a writer where you can create text. For example, you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, anything that you like. Second, have an artist like Midjourney, DALI, or Nano Banana. Now Gemini also has Nano Banana in it, and most of the AI softwares are getting better and better at creating images. So you don't specifically need an image generator separately. Third, use a researcher. And for that, you can always use Perplexity and plus other softwares. Even Gemini can do a very good research for you, and ChatGPT can also do very good research for you. Master a small number of tools before you add other tools into it, because most of the niche tools that you use, like tools for dentists, AI tools for medical healthcare person, AI tools for artists, they're all wrap around these basic tools. So you just need to get yourself strong in some few basic tools. For the end of the it is not whether you are using ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, whatever you use. It's not the tool itself. It's how clearly you frame the problem you are asking AI to help you think through. So it is basically the prompting that works in creating the answers. So it's not the tool, it's how you are asking the question. The more context and structure you give, the better the output, regardless of the tool that you use. So AI is moving so fast that today's tools may be obsolete in 6 months, but the core concepts will not change. Our real value ultimately comes from our specific knowledge. Become an infinite learner. Stay curious, adapt, keep growing. If you stop learning, you will fall behind. Ride the wave of change into the future. Don't fear the unknown, never stop learning. Be the one who embraces what's next and teaches it to the next generation. I hope I have been able to teach you a little bit about the AI softwares, and you will continue to learn in it. Thank you so much.